Hi, hello everybody. Today I will be showing everyone actually, how to work with Sprite with SplashKit. So as we can see here, I've already have some of my Sprite uploaded. And yeah, let's get started then, shall we? So of course we have a program.cpp, but in order to make our code much easier to work with, let's create first an actual player.cpp and then a new header file just to work with that player. Okay, here we go. So of course, let's first define our header file. If not define, just call this player, and then define player. Right. You also want to include the SplashKit library. All right, and then I'll just do nf. Okay. So what are we going to need? First, let's create a struct for our player. This will basically be what we're going to be passing in. And we'll just call this player 1 data. And then we are going to need a resource bundle. But this resource bundle, because we're gonna just load this resource bundle in, we first have to create a resource bundle for the actual sprites. And then we have to pass every single images in that resource bundle. So now let's get started on that, shall we? Okay, this goes into the SplashKit resource folder, and it should go into bundle. And then, sorry, we just want to create a new file called, let's call this a witch, because that's a witch. She's a witch bundle.txt. There you go. And then starting off bitmap. Each of this picture is a bitmap, so of course we're gonna call them bitmap. And we have bitmap wizard idle. It's basically the idle animation. And then we have two idle animation, one facing to the right and one facing to the left. We're going to pass both of them in. We have idle.png. Make sure you spell the name right. Otherwise, it's just not gonna be able to recognize what the source file is. And for the width and the height, you can figure that out from looking at the image property. And then for this part here, we're gonna look at the amount of rows and column. As we can see, let's just take a look at idle real quick. This is the facing right one, or left rather. I've actually messed up naming them quite a bit, sorry. As we can see here, there's only one column and 6 different rows. Basically, one vertical line is a column, and we can see for our sprite started working with here only has one, and we have 6. Every horizontal line is one row. So the order is row, column, column, row. So you have one column, 6 row, and then this is basically the multiplication between the two, 6. Now we just want to repeat this until everything is done. And since I've actually already prepared this in advance, I am just going to copy and paste this. There you go. It should look something like this, pretty much, I suppose. And sorry again, I seem to have named this wizard. That's just something I've been using before. I just switched the bitmap around. Don't worry about that. This is an identifier you're going to be using, so you can name this however you like. Now moving on, just gonna stick to the point of calling it a wizard. We are going to need some animation script. So how do we do an animation script? Of course, we have to go to the animation bundle. And now let's start with idle. Okay, again, animation, and then create a new animation. We'll just call this whichidle.txt. There you go. You want to start with SplashKit animation f0, which is basically the frame, 0, 8, that's the speed, and then 1, which basically is the next frame we're going to be looking at. And you're going to just repeat this and then since it was 0, now it's 1. Start at 1, 1, 8, and for the 8 part here, you can have this set to anyone you want. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the higher the number, the faster it moves between each of the pixel, or rather frame. And we're just gonna repeat this here for 6 time, and one more, and then you're just gonna update this real quick. This should be 3, sorry, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 0, back to 0, because we wanted to keep looping for as long as, well, they're idle. So now we have 4 here, 4, 3, and then 3. There you go. And you want an identifier for this, and I'll just call this which idle 0. There you go. And now what you want to do is you want to pass in that animation. Is there the idle? Sorry, that's which idle. And then the file which idle.txt. Okay. And of course, you will have to keep going through each one of the attack, and then again, the amount of frames you need is it depends on how much frame there actually are. There's only 6 for the idle because there's only 6 frame. Let's say, for example, something like run, 6 frame as well. Sorry, that's still 6. Let's say something like attack. Attacks obviously has more frame, and if I count correctly, this should be something like 12. There's 12 frame here, so you would need 12 different lines just to work out the frame. Once again, I've already have I'll just walk through you guys with this one real quick. We'll do which attack.txt. Again, you can just basically copy and paste everything. And I already have it on the side for the attack. So I'm just going to do a quick, there you go. As we can see here, instead of 6, we have 12 actual different line. But for the attack, since I don't want it to loop every time the player attack, we're going to leave out the 0. If you enter 0 again, basically what happens is when it hits this line, the 11th frame, and then when it ends, it's telling it in which frame to go next. And it'll keep looping, it goes back to this, and then it's going to start the animation all over again. But we don't want that, so we're just going to keep it just like that. And then the last one would be the run script. So now it should be, since it also has 6 frame, you can just copy and paste this. This is not difficult. All right, now we have the animation script, and we also have the bundle. Let's pass the actual script back into the bundle for our upload. And which attack.txt, and then which run.txt. Now, bundle's done, that's done. Let's just close this, put it on the side. You're going to go back to our struct. What are we going to need to pass into our struct, or create rather? What we're going to need is a bitmap, animation script, animation. These are the different data types we're going to need, sprite, and drawing options. But since we want to make better use of our memory, we're actually also going to be using sprite pointer. We're going to be using pointer, and since we're going to be working with sprite, we need this to be a sprite, the pointer for sprite. I'll just call this sprite pointer. Now, bitmap, the amount of bitmap you're going to need is basically the amount of picture you're going to be using. And so what do we have here? We have a attack on different direction, that's 2, idle different direction, run, and then we're just going to be looking at these 6 at the moment. So now let's actually make 6 different bitmap. Which idle bitmap, which idle again, but this time it should be left. I'll just add an L behind that, and then once again which run right, that's going to the right, bitmap which left. Okay, actually, I'm just, since these are facing the wrong side, I'm gonna need to replace this real quick. What appears, I have them, for the idle at least, I actually have them reverse. So if you don't, sorry about that, let me just correct that. There you go. Okay, which idle left? Now, bitmap, which attack? This should be by default facing to the right as well, okay? And then for the other one, it should be which attack left. Okay, if you guys want to use this sprite sheet as well, or this sprite, I will link it in the description. And then now we're going to need animation script, and then I'll just call this attack script. You can reuse the same animation script for if the sprite is doing the same thing. Let's say, for example, our idle here, they're different bitmap, different sprite, but in terms of the amount of frames and there's in terms of the amount of frames, it's the same. So we can actually just reuse it without creating different script. So we're gonna have an attack script, animation, run script. Done. Now after animation script, we are going to have animation, and then we have, I'll just add this idle, or actually I'll add the W in front of it. W idle says a which animation W idle left animation W idle left animation W attack. Of course, these identifier, you can name them however you want. This is just what helps me understand, and it's easier for me to work with, but you can name them however you want. There is no right or wrong way to identify something, just as long as it works out for you and it's easy and it's convenient. And then we're going to be needing some sprite, the actual thing we're going to be working with. And then I just call this which idle sprite, which idle, this would be the left one, sprite which idle which attack. The problem with working with so many different stuff is, and they're all pretty much similar as well, and at least for me, I have a very bad time trying to, actually, I'll just change this real quick, because since everything else is facing that way already, might as well do this right. There you go, and then I'll go back to the idle. Sorry about that, but there, it should be, everything should be the same. Now I can at least, since everything else is facing right by default and left as they run, so I just wanted the idle to do the same thing, so it's easier for us to work with. And the thing with working with so many things that are actually similar, it actually makes it a pain to actually just name them. Now the last thing we're going to need is drawing options. Drawing options, idle. This is idle option, drawing option, attack option, drawing option. Oops, wrong one there. Right option, and then drawing option, left option. Okay, right. Now we have the bitmap, the script, the animation, the sprite, and the drawing option. Let's actually start working on them. Okay. So what are we going to need? Oops, sorry. First of all, again, let's include the SplashKit header file. Just make sure, yep, right spelling. And then I'm going to include the header we just made as well, player.h. All right, we're good to go. Now, what I'm going to need is something to make a new player. And then for that data type, is basically the struct we just made. I'll just call it a new player. Oops, sorry. There. And then we have player one. Since it is a function, it does need to return something. We'll just call this result. Now, remember the bundle that we made from the very start? We're going to need to call it that now. And then that's going to be load resource bundle. And then this would probably just be the name of the bundle. And this is, oops, the file name. Okay, so which bundle.txt. There you go. Perfect. Now we're gonna first start with the bitmap. Bitmap. Okay, I'll just have this here to the side, just for easy for me to remember the identifier that I write. So we're gonna have bitmap, which idle. That's the first one we have, equal to bitmap named. Now the part here is it's going to be looking for a bitmap that has this name, and if you're wondering where we're going to get that name, that's simple. Just look at the bundle we just made. So, for example, our idle. What's the identifier you made? This would be a wizard idle. Okay. I'll just change them all to which. Otherwise, it's just gonna be weird. Which. We're very sorry about this. I should have been more prepared. But just give me 1 second. It'll be done in just a moment. Okay, there we go. All done. Actually, don't need this. Or this. There. Okay, thank you. Now, so our first idle would probably be which idle? With a uppercase W. There you go. And then you just want to repeat the same thing for every single bitmap. So the next one is which idle left equal to bitmap name which idle left. Right there. Okay, left. And then bitmap which right equal to bitmap name which run right. And make sure you have the exact spelling going on, because it's going to look at that resource bundle to draw in the width and height and the amount of frames. If you mess up that spelling, it's not going to work for that one specific bitmap. I've run into that problem before, and trust me, you don't want to spend like an hour figuring what's wrong with your program just to have a misspell. So just double check, make sure you get it right. It'll save you a lot of time. Should be left. Okay, and then the last one should be attack. Equal bitmap name which attack, and then bitmap. Oops, I messed up there. Sorry about that. This should be which attack, and then which attack left equal to bitmap name which attack left. Okay, that's the bitmap. Bitmap part is done now. What we're going to need after working on bitmap, we're going to need to work with the script. Now, since we are using, we want to pass it back to the result. When working on the script, we are going to have to use result.idle script. There you go. .idle script load animation script. Then there should be the identifier. You can call this whatever you want again. And then for the actual script, that's what we made from the very start. These animation text right here, these are the script we're going to be using. So now we have idle.txt, and then we have result attack script called load animation script attack script attack. Sorry, that's not idle. This should be which idle, and then this should be which attack. .txt result dot run script equal to load animation script run script. Again, make sure you just get the spelling and everything right. Otherwise, it's just going to be a hassle later on. Why is this giving me something? Expected a member name. Oh, sorry. Comma. There you go. Fix it. Okay. Script's done. What's next? Now we are going to need the animation. We're going to need to create the animation. Again, we're going to have result dot which idle equal to create animation. Then we're going to pass in the animation script, and it's an identifier. And this should be result dot idle script. Oh, it's idle script. And then for these identifier, you can just look at the identifier you made, just right here inside the script. There you go. Result dot idle left. I'm pretty sure we can use the same script since it's the same thing. But if we don't, we can just simply, if we do run into a problem regarding whether or not we can use the same script for different animation, we can just go back and then we do them real quick, but I'm sure we should be able to. Okay, now we have attack equal create animation result dot attack script, and again just look at the identifier you made. Okay, there we go. Now result dot attack left next on the line. Once again, I'm pretty sure we can reuse the script. And next is result dot right. Create animation create animation result dot run script, and then this should be, oops, sorry, I forgot to change the identifier there. That would have been bad. Switch run. Okay, there we go. And then result dot w left equal create animation result dot run script. Okay, perfect. Animation's done. Next thing is the sprite. Let's create some sprite, shall we? Now we have result again dot each different sprite. We're gonna have to do this for everything. Idle equal create sprite. Again, these create animation, load animation script, bitmap name, everything we're using here is available thanks to SplashKit. So make sure you include it. Now, okay. First, we're going to need to pass in the for sprite. We're going to need to pass in the bitmap and the animation script. For idle, we need to pass in which idle, and then result dot idle script. Then you want to repeat this for every single sprite, and since we have 6, I'll just redo this 6 times, and then just change everything in here. this would be left. Sorry, and then your attack. And you are attacked left. And then your right, your left. Okay, and then change these part. Oops, idle left. Same script. Attack. Attack left. Then for right we have which right and which left. This should be attack script. Attack script. And then run script. There you go, perfect. Last but not least, we also need to work on the drawing options. Result.idle opt is equal to option with animation. Basically, gonna just option this with one animation that is gonna be working with. Oops, sorry. Messing up a bit here. That's quite late. And then you're just going to select the animation that you have previously created for each one. So this should be result.animation. And then you're going to do the same for everything else. And since we only have actually 4 animation, I don't think we actually need to use every animation that we have made. There's 6, but we're only going on to need 4. So we'll have this is attack, okay. And then we'll have result dot right option, and then option with animation result dot W right. There you go. Result dot left option equal to option with animation result dot be left. Okay, there we go. We finish working with everything we have declared in our struct, except for the pointer. Let's get started on that, shall we? Okay. Now, we would have result.sprite pointer equal. So by default, we want the animation to, if we're not moving, if we're not doing anything, you would probably want it to be stuck on idle. So we're gonna have this sprite pointer equal to reference result dot. Since it's a sprite pointer, we have to point it back to another sprite. But we'll just have that as shadow. And then we also need sprite start animation. Again, another SplashKit. Remember to add the asterisk for pointer and the result dot sprite pointer. And then you need the animation name. Result dot and just the animation. There you go. Okay. Now since these are all different sprite, and we make sure if we were to be moving them around, the XY location would be changed. So we need to set their XY position for each individual sprite. We have 6. Let's get started. We have sprite set x equal to, so we pass in the sprite, and that's idle. I don't need this on the side anymore. There you go. Much easier to look at. That's the right one. And then since I want my screen to be 800 by 800, I'll just give this like a x30. Okay, and then sprite set. I'll just do that because we do want them to all start at the same location anyway. So my x value is always going to be the same. The only thing that's going to be different is the sprite. Right, and this should be left. There you go. Now we have set the x value for each sprite. We're going to do it for the y. And our y value should probably be different from our x since I want to be lower and down on the screen. So idle would probably be, I'll give it 500. 500. Actually, scratch that. I think somewhere around here would be better. 390. And then the attack, since it's slightly shorter than the other. Or there you go. Of course, this x and y position, it's all up to you where you want it to start and how you want to position it. This is just how I'm working with mine. All right, there you go. We have that. And since it's a function, don't forget to return something, which is result. There you go. Okay, that is done. Now, we do need a function, or to be exact, a void function to return our which. We'll have draw which. We will need to pass something into it. And then for now, we'll have data. And then we'll just call this which draw. There you go. Now, what is wrong? Draw complete is not allowed. Yep, sorry about that. I got that out of the way, and let's just pass. Don't forget to also return the function that you have created back into the header file. Okay, there you go. Just down there. And then, okay, back to our draw which function. Let's start with the attack. If, and I want my attack key to be space, so if key type, once again, thanks to SplashKit built-in, we are able to have key type and the space key is already all defined by SplashKit, so we can just take advantage of that. Now, if key type, we're going to pass in another if. This is to make sure that if the sprite animation is not already playing, then we want it to start this animation. Basically, it'll only start if the sprite isn't already playing. So how do we do that? So we'll just have if sprite animation name, and then which draw is not equal to which attack was it? Yep. Which attack? Okay, and then what we wanted to do was which draw dot sprite pointer. Oh, sorry. Should have a sprite pointer at the end. Sprite pointer is going to be equal to which draw that attack. And then we have sprite start animation, which draw dot sprite pointer, which attack. There you go, beautiful. Now, and moving on, we wanted to also move around. We have else if key down, since for our attack we only want it to play once, but for our running, as long as it's being pressed down, we want it to keep moving. We have left key, or rather the left key. And I want to do the same thing that we've done here, but instead of which attack, this should be which idle. Oh, sorry, which run was it? Yep, switch run. We will basically want it to do the same thing. Instead of pointing at the one, on the right. And then this would be which one. But that's the thing. Since we want it to keep moving across the screen, we also want the location of our sprite to be updated as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to have sprite set x equal to, and then we're going to pass in the sprite, which draw thought idle, and have sprite position, which idle, which draw thought idle, dot x plus 3. You can adjust this value however you want, but I want to be moving by 3 pixel. Okay, now we have to keep doing this for each one. 6 of that, 5, 6. And then we're gonna have left as well. This is going to be attack. Again, you want to update every single one of them because at the end of the day you want them to link back up. Otherwise, it's gonna be very messy. Right. Then right. Okay. Oh, sorry. This should be left. This is attack. Attack left. Right. And then left. There you go. Now, what you want to do is else if sprite animation has ended. So the animation has ended. This is basically going to be for the attack. Basically saying if the attack animation has ended, or key release. Because if you remember correctly, our run script is going to keep looping, so it'll actually never end. So just if the key is released, this would be the left key. We want it to return back to its original idle script. Sprite pointer equal to draw thought idle which draw dot sprite pointer equal to. Oh, sorry. This should be. I'm very sorry about that. Sprite dot animation, and then which draw sprite pointer, and then which idle. There you go. Also, don't forget to update sprite animation, and then draw dot sprite pointer, and then update sprite. Also draw sprite. Okay, there you go. For now, let's actually test it out first before we move on. Make sure the program actually run properly. So we're gonna need our main program right here. Now, so what do you have to do? First of all, we need to open the window, of course. Open the window, sprite, then this is where you set the x and y value. I'll just give this 1,000 and then 800. Okay, now we have to make a new data. Oh, sorry. Don't forget to actually include the header file, otherwise it'll be undefined. There you go. Now here it is. I'll just call this player 1, and then player 1 should be equal to our new player, the function. There you go. Okay, what's next? Now we're going to do a while loop. While the user does not request a quit, keep the program open or the window open while not quit requested. So on the clear screen, then I'll just give this the color black. And then I'm just going to draw which player 1 then refresh screen 60 process event. Alright, and then I just want to give an option for the player to quit. If key typed escape key, I wanted to end the program. Exit. Alright, now moment of truth. Do hope this runs. So let's compile our program. Just call it game. Compile perfectly. Let's see if it actually works. There you go. As you can see, we do have it in. So now if I do press the left key, it's actually first the left key. Okay, nothing's happening. Attack works. There's something wrong with our left key. But the attack works, as you can see here. If I press attack every time, it's gonna play 1. It returns back the idle. Now let's go back to our left key, see if there's something wrong with the things that we did. Interesting. Which one? One pointer to point at that? Give me 1 second for me to just go through this real quick. Okay, everybody, sorry about that. I just realized the animation we're passing in actually has to run to the right, and I was passing in the left key. So if I just change this to the right key, it just actually works properly. Now, again, let's just compile this. And then there you go. It actually is running. Doesn't appear to be stopping though. Oops. Minor mistake. Okay, let's test this out again, shall we? Holding down right key, keep holding, I release it, go back to idle. Perfect. Attacks works. As you can see, it all checks out because we updated the location of the X each time we're holding down the key, so it works properly. Now, if you guys are wondering, we did have 3 other sprites we haven't been using because we actually also wanted to figure out when it's actually pointing left, it's pointing left or right. So we're actually going to need to pass in something else. What we're going to need is a bool, something to check whether our sprite is pointing to the left or pointing to the right. Now, let's create something new real quick. We'll call this bool is left, and then we're going to have a bool result. This will be if key type left key this result is going to be true. Now if key type right key, we want result to be false. That's it. That's actually all we're gonna need for the bool to check. Alright, now that's done. Again, remember to pass this back into the header file and we're good to go. Let's start with it, shall we? Okay, first of all, we have this is basically when it's pointing to the right. We're going to add an extra condition. We're going to have now if and if our bool is false. That's when we wanted to do this. Oops, sorry, yeah. It's false, but actually, wait, no, I'm working on the wrong one here, sorry. This doesn't really need a bool to check for it. We should be working on attack, and if our left, remember to also pass in something to our parameter. We'll just call that left. If left is equal to false, it's gonna play this animation because this animation, the sprite is looking at the right side. But if again, just copy everything there. All the difference is if it is equal to true, we want it to play a different sprite. And dot sprite pointer is going to be equal to which draw attack left instead. Then sprite start animation. Pretty much the same thing since we're using the same script. There, that should be it. Now another thing we need to do is for when it's actually when the player is actually moving to the left. So we're gonna need another if key down left key. I'm gonna pass in the right one this time. Left key, we want the exact same thing here, but we're gonna make a few minor changes. If it's not able to run, that's okay, but this should be left instead. And instead of +3, we're gonna be minusing them because we're going in the other direction. So -3 to each and every single one of that. There you go. Oops. Okay, looking good, people. All right, now we have a wave statement for it for our sprite to go to the right and a statement for it to go to the left. Again, what we want to do for this part is we're gonna want to do the same thing we did earlier. If left is equal to false, we want them to use the sprite, but instead if it is but else if left is equal to true, I want this to be which idle left instead. That should technically be it. Now, remember to also change our parameter here to include the thing we have passed in. Okay, and then going back to our main program, we're gonna need a new bool, which is called if left. And then if left, check left sounds better actually. Check left, and we would have check left is equal to s left, and then pass check left back then, and then also add that to here. Should be good to go. Now it's compiled. Ooh, on okay. I think there's a matter. So hopefully this should work. So moving left. It's constantly returning false. That's interesting. So wait. Do believe this is the problem here. There you go. Okay, now it should work. Right there. It's still. I'm holding the right key, which I haven't touched the left key yet. Left key, it starts moving the other side. And we have seems to forget one more thing. If key release, because we didn't tell it that we released the key. We want it to return to the idle. Just save that real quick and we'll compile. This should work properly. Moving left, now that's worked perfectly. Same as intended as earlier. Place the right animation. We're gonna start moving to the left instead. There you go. As you can see here, the idle animation is being switched from using the left one to the right one. And if I press attack, it should play a different animation. Okay, there you go. I seem to have messed up the X location a bit, but it is working properly. It's playing the animation from the other side. So now let us figure out how to properly set this X value. Okay, I believe it should be negative that. Okay, now I compile this. Runs the program. There you go. Pretty much the same spot now. There, it works properly. We have an attack to the other side, go left and right, and the idle animation works depending on which way we're going. And that is how you use Sprite with SplashKit. I hope this video can help anyone who's trying to build any sort of 2D games or any project they're working on. Thank you for watching.